going to show you how to apply a StoneCoat do-it-yourself kit on this garage floor. Each kit will coat 200 to 225 square feet. First, remove the old paint, tape, and anything else on the concrete. Spray water on the floor just to make sure it is getting absorbed. Non-detergent and environmentally friendly cleaner can be used to degrease the floor. Be particularly aware that the water must penetrate into the concrete for the epoxy to penetrate. Repeat this step until no contaminants are present. In some cases, a diamond grinder is necessary to remove paint and sealers and can be rented from a local equipment rental company. So, now that we've degreased the floor, our next step is we're going to acid etch it. That explains the gloves and protective eyewear. We use muriatic acid, which is pool acid. It can be purchased at a hardware store. Use a plastic watering can and not a metal one, as acid reacts to the metal. Add 1.5 gallons of water to the can and pour in a half a gallon of muriatic acid. We want to make sure the floor is damp so the acid can flow out. Damp, but not puddled. The acid is reacting to the surface of the concrete, which allows us to have a good mechanical adhesion. Pre-dampen pavers or other concrete that should not be etched. Next, we rinse whatever loose particles were created and get the floor clean again. No concerns about rinsing the muriatic acid on the driveway. The acid has all reacted with the concrete and it becomes a salt, leaving particles of grit behind. You then use a wet vac to remove any particles of the concrete. If you desire to fill cracks or repair concrete, this is the time to do it. First, you use a good quality caulking with silicone. Squeeze it into the holes and then wipe it off with a rag. Other concrete patches should be done at this time, using a polymer concrete patch for good repair. Before putting the epoxy down, the floor should be completely dry. Now that the garage is prepared, it's time to apply the StoneCoat floor. We suggest that 2 people help with this step. Combine part A and B together and mix well. You have about a half an hour before this begins to cure in the bucket. It's important to pour the epoxy directly onto the concrete, giving us time to roll out the epoxy and throw the chips. We recommend pouring the epoxy into ribbons equally over the 200 to 225 square feet. We cut in the edges and the control joints, then roll out the center of each square. When throwing chips, pretend you're throwing grass seed or feeding chickens. Have fun. Throw the chips into the wet paint until it doesn't need any more to cover the surface. Remember to evenly distribute the chips. Repeat for the next section of concrete to be coated. Allow the garage floor to dry overnight, and then broom off the excess chips and collect them. Some people prefer using a leaf blower to further blow off the loose chips into a corner or a dry vac. Now we're going to seal the floor. Add 1 cup of water to the sealer and mix thoroughly. The water helps it flow better. Starting at the furthest corner, apply it around the edges and control joints, making sure it doesn't puddle on the surface or in the joints. While applying the sealer, add chips to any areas that need them. Take care to seal both sides of the chips. Doing one section at a time, roll the sealer over the chips evenly, making sure they are covered well. After finishing the section, let it dry for 1 or 2 hours before applying the top coat. Now for the third and last step. You prepare the urethane top coat by combining part A and B together and 2 cups of water. After stirring well for 3 minutes, you're now ready to apply the urethane top coat. Apply this urethane top coat just like you did the sealer, careful to brush out the control joints. This will add shine and strength and protection to your floor. It has a fairly long pot life, 2 to 3 hours, so take your time applying the polyurethane. Allow the polyurethane to dry overnight, or 8 to 10 hours before walking on it. It will be totally cured and ready to park on within 5 to 7 days. And that's it. Thanks for watching. The kit can be purchased online at concretemadenew.com.